Okay? And once a person tell you what it is they want and who they are, Maya Angelou said, believe them. And if that's not what you're looking for, because see, you got to be willing to enter into this relationship. So when I lay my cards on the table up front, I'm really telling you this the deal for being with me. And if that's not what you're interested in, then you got a choice. Yes or no. Now, if you enter into it, then you got to be willing to accept what comes with it.
Yes, because sometimes I have a problem. I was listening to you, listen. I have a problem with the male raising their voice like this. Because sometimes I'll be like, I was raised around women. Sometimes I have to, what you trying to do? I'm talking to you, but you know, some people say, that's how they'll talk. They stern sometimes. I guess sometimes I have to talk with people be like, don't stop right fast.
Okay, I tell you this. You know, there's this big elephant in the room with relationships. And everybody say that you gotta have communication. If you don't have communication, the relationship is dead, right or wrong. I disagree with it. I do not believe that that is true. And I tell you why I don't believe it. I don't believe it because people communicate differently. I could be communicating with you to the best of my ability. And we still not understand each other. So what has to take place is that I have to be able to communicate to you who I am and make sure that you understand who I am. And you communicate to me who you are, not communication. Because some people like to text. Some people can't talk to you face to face. No, some people cannot talk to you face to face. Some people like to get on the phone, or they like to text, or they like to write letters, because right now they haven't developed the fortitude to sit down and have a face to face. Because most people fear that if I say something, I anticipate how you're going to respond to what I'm going to say. So therefore, I don't say it because I think it might hurt you. When in actuality, it's hurt me more not to say it. So I need to write it. And then that softens what I'm saying because you're reading my words as opposed to hearing my words.
But you know, there's something though, you know how to text right.
Well, you probably right. Then they need a little help. They need a little help. And I don't believe in giving up on somebody, especially if you love them, because somebody had to help me. Somebody had to help me. I haven't always been on the same intellectual level with people that I dated. Come on, y'all. You came to Relationship Unleashed. Amen. You came here for something now. Come on. Amen. Come on. Relationship tune up. Come on.
You have to take those because they might, like if you talk to them, they might start screaming and hollering.
Exactly. Sometimes when we have to be able to channel our own emotions, we have to be able to channel our own emotions. And you ask yourself this: why am I yelling and screaming right now? Why am I yelling and screaming right now? Because if you ask yourself, you'll get the answer. Because most of the time, it's a act of acting out, defiance. You exert your control, or what you've done has worked over and over and over in your past relationship, and you know how to do it. It's automatic. One of those two things gonna take place right in there.
Well, what if it's a situation to where you're doing it because you've said it so calmly so many times, trying to get the person to understand this is what I'm trying to show you or get you to understand, but they constantly go against everything that you're saying. So then after a while, you build it up, holding it in, and then you begin to yell and scream and bang on the table that you sitting there with them, and they still, and then even then, it's like, well, now you banging on the table, so what am I supposed to do now? Be scared?
So I'm gonna bag up. So we go into the over and the over, the over and the over. I'm telling you over and over. And it doesn't seem that you're still respecting something that's really, really important to me. The ball is not in their court anymore. The ball is in your court. Now, you got to make some decisions. is this a negotiable situation? Or is this a non-negotiable situation? Is this something that's, if you weigh it, does it outweigh the relationship? Or is this something that's a peeve of mine that I cannot overlook with this person? And secondly, do not let it build up for your sanity. Do not let it build up. You can't let it build up, because then if you let it build up, it takes you out of character and into a place you don't want to be. So everything that you're doing and everything that you're in, you have 100% control over it in the relationship. You choose to be in this relationship. You choose to be in it, because if it's that bad, you'll get out of it. And what I have learned, I'm 52, is that I refuse to live the rest of my days unhappy and in an unhealthy environment anymore. I've done that. So in going forward and making choices, my choice is to be happy and to be the best version of myself that I can be, and have my partner also reflect that in us, and we work through the problems instead of the arguing and the yelling and the cursing and the ultimatums. So we understand, and then we work it like a math problem. But the person got to be willing, and you got to be willing. And a relationship is like this. You got to be in, they have to be in. I hate the movies. I hate going to the movies. Sean loved going to the movies. I have to go to the movies. She usually let me get away sometimes. I can usually get one of her friends to go with her, so I can get out of it, but I will go. Excuse me, anybody else had their hand up? Oh, yes, ma'am.
I hate football. I have to be in watch football.
Yeah, but you knew that when we got married. I rent Netflix. I go to the Red Box. I can't say that one, I might go to jail. But yes, sir.
I think that as it relates to relationships, we focus more on the intimate side of relationships, and we also need to focus on the non-intimate side of relationships.
Absolutely.
Like developing those communication skills or healthy relationships with our neighbors, with the individuals that we work with and associate with, because some of those unhealthy communication skills bleed over into our non-intimate relationships with others.
Absolutely.
It causes issues. Like you said, we have to be able to tackle those hard decisions that we don't want to face.
Absolutely.
Because the reality is, it's not going to go anywhere until we address whatever the issue is. And the more you put it on the back burner to try to suppress your anger, the more it builds up and it explodes. I think that as it relates to who we are, I think Dr. Ballard said this one time before we went to counseling. He said that you have to be able to impart your spirit or your soul into the other individual's soul or spirit. In other words, what he was saying was basically that golden rule: treat people the way you want to be treated. And in doing so, a lot of times we tend to, even in both intimate and non-intimate relationships, we tend to negate the other person's feelings. We always tend to say, this is not how you feel, this is not what you're saying. But if individuals saying or expressing themselves and saying, this is how you're making me feel, or this is what you're doing to me, I think it's important for us to hear that cry and then address it. Like she said, if we love that individual, we want to make it right. So if a person is actually crying out to you, you cannot ignore that.
I agree. I'll tell you what I heard one time, and I have something for y'all. Think about this. There is a difference between I don't like you and I don't like what you did. Because sometimes we use those as a sum of the whole. And then there goes the end of the relationship. because the person can do something and you're chalking up to the point that I don't like you. But it's not that I don't like you, I don't like what you did. And that'll save you a whole lot of problem if you're able to communicate those feelings at that moment with what's going on. You can't keep score. You cannot keep score in a relationship. Some of y'all probably good at it too. You probably can go back to the first day. You can't keep score. It's like the new season. Lying to niece, it's 0-0. It's 0-0. It's not last month. It's not yesterday. It's not last year. Because if you in a relationship and you working through the relationship, you got to clean the slate and you got to start over. If you bring it up, that's a foul. The score is 0-0. So I'm going to speed up because we almost out of time. Okay? Another thing I want you all to understand. There is no such thing as 100% honest in your relationship. I stand on King James Bible right now with both feet and say that there's no such thing. If a person sit in your house, in your face, lay in your bed and say, babe, I'm going to be 100% honest, they lying. You lying. There's no such thing. And I'll tell you why you lying. It's not that you have ill intentions. It's not that you're doing something sneaky. I'm not saying you're doing something sneaky, but you're entitled to privacy. You're entitled to privacy. Okay? So what I mean by that is this. I have best friends. 2 of them. One of them dead, bless her soul. When I'm on the phone with my girlfriends, it's none of Sean's business what we talking about. And vice versa. When Sean is on the phone with her girls, kikiing, and I have no right to bust in the room talking about what you're talking about. Even if I hear something, that's her privacy. That's her privacy. I have no right to go through her phone. She has no right to go through mine. I don't have a lock on my phone, and I don't expect to lay my phone on the counter and come around the corner and she perusing through my phone. I'm entitled to my privacy. So we have this thing in our house we call 95-5. I give you 95%, but I'm going to keep 5 to myself. Because I might have some juicy stuff and I don't know how to know what I'm talking about. I'm not scheming. I'm not plotting. I'm not trying to go out and pick nobody up. But I just have stuff that I think I'm entitled to for my privacy. You have to have that. You have to have your man cave. You have to have that. Because if you don't, then y'all gonna get tired of each other. You have to have your outlets. That's healthy. I do not want to lose my identity in my relationship. I want her to go out with her girlfriends. I want my autonomy. I don't want to lose myself in this relationship. I've done that before. Then when the person leaves you, you stripped. You don't have nothing. You don't have no identity. You don't have nothing no more. You got to remain who you are and do things that you love.
You are preaching. You are preaching.
Yes. Another thing. This on my old material. I'm going to tell y'all this tonight. No phones on. These things right here. Gooch. No phones on. No phones on. These things right here will ruin your relationship. You go out to dinner, and the person sitting there like this, and I start singing. People don't talk no more. All they doing. People don't talk no more. All they doing. You gotta put that phone up. Put it up.
Even playing the games also. I mean, it's the same.
Okay, playing games on the phone. Put it up. We have a rule, and it's kind of fell by the wayside, but she pulled my card the other night. We don't bring the phone in the bed. And the reason for that is this. By that time, take care of your business, do all your work. When you come in here, let's either talk, and we're going to go to sleep. Phones on. Try it. It's going to take a little getting used to, breaking your habit. But you know what a habit is, right? something that